my my kid's watching Minecraft right now, the movie.
On the movie. Oh, my kids
Hmm.
watch like the tutorials and stuff like that on Happy Kids. So I meant to tell you because you're like no YouTube.
No.
So I don't know if you're aware. There's an app called Happy Kids, and a lot
Okay.
of those YouTube videos that the kids actually like to watch are on Happy Kids, but it's like they've already been like
Vetted.
previewed. Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So, because like my kids would start going down like rabbit holes of like the parodies, like with the little girl who
Yeah.
would do like dress up and stuff like that. And it was all good
Oh.
until it wasn't. And I'm like, what? And then they were
Did
doing
you
like
catch him? Like, or did you
no,
catch
it wasn't.
YouTube?
It wasn't them doing anything. It was just them
Yeah.
watching like this. There was like this little girl who would do like parody videos. She would dress
Yeah.
up, and her family would be in on it too. And it was cute. It was fine. It was fun until like they started doing like scary ones where like they dress up like
Mm-hmm.
scary. Like there'd be a scary. The dad would be like a scary man, and
Mm-hmm.
then like it was like freaking out my 8 year old, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, and I wasn't sure what was happening until like one day it was on in the background. I was like, well, yeah, okay, no, we're done with that. It was like Trinity and Beyond or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then so we somehow stumbled upon Happy Kids. So Happy Kids has a bunch of different stuff for all ages. You can choose which age appropriate it is, and it's really not like where they can search a whole bunch of things like on YouTube. It's literally just what's in there is what's in there. So that's
Oh,
something maybe you might want to consider because my kids like to watch. It's like Minecraft videos where they show them how to do stuff and
mm.
this and that and whatnot, and other shows and stuff like that. So
Do they have
just
tablets? Like, do they kind of navigate it on their own, or?
my kids do have tablets, but they
Okay.
really don't use tablets anymore because the oldest
Right.
has a phone. The oldest I'm
Mm.
trusting to use YouTube because she's learning how to crochet, so she can watch crochet videos, but I can
Mm-hmm.
monitor it because she's under my account.
Oh,
Um,
crochet. I did that. I did
she,
crochet knitting at her age to learn how to sew. So
yeah, she's
fun.
wanting to do animals, like those wobbles that
Yeah.
like it's the kits. So instead of buying the kits, she's learning how to do it on her own without having to buy the kit. And she's getting
Mm.
there, but I'm like, ooh, because she's wanting to sell them. Like it was funny, you posted your son's
Yeah.
trying to do a hustle business, and my kids are trying to do that right now too. But I'm like, y'all need like inventory before I even like tell
I
people,
know.
like, let's stop
He,
right now.
he
I'm
made,
like, you
they
can't.
made, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm like, you can't have an inventory of 5 things because they want to sell
Yeah.
like bracelets, and then the big girl wants to sell like crochet things, like and crochet animals, and she's doing it. Like she made a whole cow yesterday, but I'm like, ooh, because me, mommy, trying to be quality control. I'm like, listen, like I know my friends will like pay because they're my friends, but I'm like,
But
let's not give them a crappy product.
yeah, no, they, hey, you gotta let them do it, right? Like mine, they actually ended up making $8, girl. $8
Hey, there
in a
you
like
go.
hour and a half. So,
That's
and they're all out
awesome.
there. They have this like microphone thing. I don't know, whatever. And they're out there and they're waving people down and they're all working as a team. And it's cute because they have to learn, right? Like how
Yeah,
much it costs, the
hmm
materials and profit. And so I think that's really
yes.
cool.
It
Today
goes
he's doing a
beyond that.
lemonade stand. So
Oh my God, look at you,
I
because
know.
my kids have been begging me for it. And I'm just like, ugh, I feel so bad because I'm like, I don't have the mental capacity for that right now. Because I like the OCD type A in me is like, you want me to sit out there for 8 hours, basically, when that's like
Hmm.
8 hours that I need to be able to
Hmm.
do XYZ. And so I'm like, but plus two, it's like 100 degrees out here. Ain't nobody trying to do that over
Here
here right
too
now.
today. Yeah, here all week it's been
Mm-mm.
like that. So I'm like, you're not going out there till 6 and in the shaded, like it we get shade in the front. So I'm like, and it's
Yeah.
shady. And yeah, and even the lemonade, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be mixing it. Why don't we just do pop cans, like soda cans, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
right? So I think that's what we'll do instead of the actual lemonade. And yeah, I'm all about like you, just contamination and what if someone gets sick and I know it's not that big of a deal, but I'm totally overthinking it, right?
You a
Totally
little bit,
overthinking
but you're
it.
like also because you're like these people know where I live. They're my neighbors, so let's not give them salmonella poisoning.
Right? Look at us supporting our kids.
Hey, you know what? My kids have learned they are learning about the value of a dollar and the concept of want versus need. Um,
Hmm.
And so I love it. Like I make my oldest, if she went shopping at Dollar Tree yesterday. I don't know if you know what
Good.
the Dollar Tree
Mm-hmm.
is, if you guys have
Yeah,
something
we have that.
similar.
Yep.
So she went shopping there, and it was a want, not a need. She wanted things for her business and supplies, which I've already started her up with things. So I said, anything from here on out, I've spent almost like 50, $100 on you right now. Like anything that you need from here on out to start your quote unquote business, like
Mm-hmm.
that's on you now.
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
I
Gotta
make
learn.
her actually pay for it. Because before she used to be all shy and be like, "Here, mommy, here's some money. Can you do it for me?" Now I'm like, "No, you want to start your little business. You want to be a little entrepreneur. You tell me that when you turn 15, you want to get a worker's permit and you want to get a job. You need to learn to advocate for yourself." Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on that. Even at restaurants, I make them look at the waiter or waitress and order for themselves
Yes.
because
Same here.
like because we have to, because now
Yeah.
like this new generation is so stuck with their eyes down and in their phones and screens that they're losing that like capacity and ability to actually like focus
Mm-hmm.
with an individual. And so I'm trying to bring that back, at least with my kids, like,
Yep.
hello, so and so, thank
They're
you. I would
human.
like, yes. I'm like, tell them,
Respect.
please, thank you. Speak to
Right.
them because they'll like speak down. I'm like, no, they're a person. Look them in the eye like you would look me
Yep.
in the eye. And
Oh
so,
my gosh,
like,
I do the
yeah.
exact same thing. It's like you say please, thank you, manners,
Mm-hmm.
respect,
Uh
and
huh.
even when they get impatient, oh, where's our food? It's like be patient. Everyone's
Yeah.
working, everyone's
Mm-hmm.
earning a living,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like that's how you learn to be patient, right? And
Yeah.
be polite. And again, it's modeled, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
do it and they see it, and yeah, it's
Yeah. I'm trying to raise decent human beings.
mhm. We're trying.
I'm trying, but yeah, I even go make her pay at the register. So also
Yeah.
she can learn like the
Oh.
skills on that, because I had to have a lesson with her yesterday because she just had $35 in her hand and the total was like $28 and some change. And she
She's
was
like
about to,
here.
yeah. And I said, okay, no. I said, A, that's rude. I said, because you're making the worker work harder and we don't do that. I
Hmm.
said, we appreciate what they do. We don't try to make it harder for them than it needs to be. I said,
Right.
B, and I told this to her outside the store too. I said, B, you can't depend on everybody to be honest. And I mean, I hate to give her this life lesson, but you also have to also, because I'm like, what if you gave them the $35 and they were like, oh, okay. And then they put the other $5
Hmm.
in the cash register just to take it later because they know they're going to be over in the till. I'm like, now you're out $5. And that's like
Hmm.
me, like, being like both ends of the spectrum. But like, I want her to learn that, like, you have to
Yeah.
protect your valuables also, because you can't
Yes.
just assume everybody's going to be honest with you, unfortunately.
Fair. Yeah.
And then so I was like, okay, your total is $28. She was about to hand him 35 bucks. And I was like, no. And then she was going to hand him the 20 and the 5. And I was like, but babe, come on. Like, this is
Yeah.
basic math right now. And she's getting all flustered. I'm like, listen, take a step back and breathe. I know I tell you
Take
to
your
like,
time.
don't waste people's time because there's people in line. I said, but also you need to learn how to do this stuff.
Hmm.
And then so we
Yeah.
had a whole lesson on the ride back. Like, okay, if you had ones also, what's a different way you could have
Right.
paid it?
That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna start keeping cash on me and like getting them to do that. That's and using it and using the counting
Yeah.
and
Well, you
subtraction and
see
all of
those
that, right?
stories on people's Instagrams where they're like, yo, I went to the store and I tried to give them cash. Like the total was 25.10, and so they gave them
Oh my goodness.
$30.10, and then the cashier didn't know how to, like, didn't understand why they gave them the 10 cents, which was so that way you don't get any change back. And I'm like, I'll be damned if my kids are those people that they're being talked about on other people's
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. No. No. All right. Well, let's hop
Let's
get
intro
into our
it.
yeah. Go for it, girl. It's
All
all
right,
you.
guys, welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Cycle, Redefining Weight Loss, Health, and Mom Life. Today, we're going to be talking about resistance. It's kind of a general topic, but I guess we wanted to talk about this because for me personally, I've experienced both ends of the spectrum on resistance, meaning I've been met with resistance and I've also been the resistor in the
Mm.
journey. So I think this is important for people to understand because you probably will at some point get met with resistance along your journey because people won't understand it. And we're here to validate you and we're here to help you navigate it because it's not going to be easy, but it is
Mhm.
manageable when you learn that A, no is a complete sentence, and
Yeah.
B, you set your boundaries.
Yeah, and that takes time, right? You might not get it right off the bat, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
come.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come. And so I guess more specifically, I guess we could start talking about just within your own household, right? Like,
Okay.
what is it that you're bringing into your home? Do you have a spouse, teenage kids? I don't know. Like, it's going to vary. And so the quote unquote resistance might be
Mm-hmm.
from other family members or your spouse or your teenage kids. So how do we navigate that? And I believe you were saying that you had a person kind of like you've been on both ends of the spectrum. So why don't we
Mm-hmm.
talk about that first, and then, I can share some of my experiences with that as well. But we'll get into just some maybe strategies and ways to work around it, work with it, through it, all of that. So go ahead.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll first start at the beginning where I was the resistor.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
You can't be Carmi. That's not you.
Yes.
I
Trust
don't
me,
believe
this
it.
was not always something that just clicked and was just bam, bam,
Hmm.
bam for me. Um, and when I was able to actually stop and analyze it, I was able to kind of just break it down and be able to communicate it with my husband now, today, in the present, as to why I was the way I was. Because at the time, let me see, I had my first baby in 2014. And that's when I was kind of like, oh, I need to bounce back. I was in and out of the gym, but had no real plan as far as what I was doing in the gym. Wasn't really focusing on weightlifting, was trying to be just the cardio bunny because that's what I thought was what was going to work. And I would do the only real lifting would be like legs.
Hmm.
And then the nutrition part was just that blanket 1200 calories, which was it a deficit? I don't know. Was it where I needed to be? I don't know. But then also too, was it 1200 calories? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't have a scale. So I was in and out. I had no buy-in. I had no type of consistency. And my husband was really like wanting to be consistent in the gym. He was really ready to start his journey. And I guess I wasn't consistent enough for him. And so for some years that built up a lot of resentment, especially when I did finally get consistent with my journey and really went like all in on it, because he was kind of like, well, hey, you were able to do this and not resist me and not fight me on it. And now you're able to show up on a daily basis for yourself. But why couldn't you show up for
Mm-hmm.
me, us, you back in 2014? Because he's like, if you think about it, if we had just gone into it just a little bit, like even like maybe 50%, 25% of what we're doing today, imagine how far we would be. And, at the time I'm like, well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
true, right? You can't force people. You can't make somebody want it
Mm-hmm.
more than they want it for themselves. But it was really just a blanket statement. Well, I didn't want it hard enough. I didn't want it bad enough. It just wasn't important to me. And yeah, it's true. But really, when I stop and break it down and we really have conversations about it, because we still have conversations about it to this day, it was, again, going back to, the episode where we were talking about like clothing and hiding and
Mm-hmm.
PTSD. It was PTSD. It was very much
Mm-hmm.
PTSD because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I know I need to do this. I know I need this for myself, but nothing I've done at this point has ever really worked and stuck. So why even bother?
Mm-hmm.
Because really that was the mentality I was in, because I'm like, well, I'm spending all of this time and energy in the gym, which it wasn't. It was like maybe twice a week when I think about it. Where I'm
So
like, oh,
yeah, it's that part of you telling you you're gonna fail. So what's the
yeah.
point?
I had no like, what do you say? I had no concept of like the reps actually working for me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like where you
Right.
talk about with Jeb.
Right.
I had no proof that what I was doing was working. But then again, I
Mm-hmm.
also didn't provide myself the proof because I didn't stick with it long enough, nor did
Mm,
I have an
as well.
actual plan.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, that was a hard pill to swallow, because for him, he needed me to be his external motivator. But I'm like, I
Mm,
can't be your external motivator. You have to be your internal motivator. And so to this day, like he does have more internal drive, but he still does rely on me.
mm.
But I think it's because it just helps him. It helps him stay like focused and zoned in, because now it's almost like a competition for him. He's like, how much did you like press? Oh, okay. I got you.
That's healthy. That's healthy competition,
And
right?
so it's healthy competition. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So on that end, like I do feel bad and I do feel a little bit of regrets just because like you want to support your partner. And I'm sure that a lot of people can resonate with this because they probably live inside a home where their partner doesn't support them or doesn't help them with their journey, that they don't help them. There's no compassion, there's no empathy. They're like, you're on your
Mm-hmm.
own. I don't really give a crap about what you're doing. Like, that's you, that's all you,
Mm-hmm.
go do it. Um, so I feel guilty because I do understand like he just needed that from me, but I couldn't give it to him because I couldn't give it to myself.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah,
like I can't give you something I can't even
exactly.
provide for myself. And so
Yeah.
now he's understanding about it. He gets it now. But again, what really needed to happen was communication. But I had no communication skills because also
Mm.
I hadn't done the work yet. I hadn't done the work
Right.
to really like deep dive within me to understand like why. Why am I
Mm-hmm.
operating like this? Why do I cut and run every time I try? Oh, well, because I haven't put the reps in. I have no proof yet. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling myself, I'm catastrophizing. I'm like, okay, go ahead, girlfriend, go try. It ain't gonna work again, but go try anyways.
Right.
So
Right.
that in itself, I think you're really going to, if you're one of those people that you're getting met with a lot of resistance inside your own home with your spouse or your partner, you're really going to have to understand that it's going to take communication
Mm-hmm.
and it may not work. But
Right.
then at that point you're just going to have to agree to disagree and just tell them, hey, this is for me, I need this for me to feel good, and you're going to have to be your internal motivator. And then if you need some external motivation, well, like we've said before, social media is really amazing. Go find some like-minded people that can help you with your journey. You can't just always rely on other people, though. You're really going to have to try to focus and understand like you've got to lead your way.
Yeah. So 2 points. I want to just touch on that you discussed there. One is it doesn't necessarily have to be that your spouse or whoever you're being met with, like as far as the resistance is concerned, that it's negative. I mean, in some cases, it may be like
Mhm.
it may be where some they're doing it on purpose, or it could just be indifference,
Mhm.
and that's okay. Indifference is neutral. That's okay too, right? Like
Mhm.
if your spouse or whomever isn't on the same path as you, they're not wanting to do what you're doing. I mean, that's realistic. Like that is the case, and that's okay. And so that brings me to my other point, which is like for me, um, I had to choose to do it myself for me. For years, my doctor tried to say, hey, like maybe look into this and, look into that for weight loss. So she couldn't convince me. My parents couldn't convince me or influence me at all, and for years, maybe the way that they came at it wasn't as positive, but for the last little while, it has been, they've changed. And so their approach was more compassionate. And it was like, hey, you should really take care of yourself. Like, this is, you got to do this for your
Mhm.
kids. And who's going to be there if you're not there for your kids? Unfortunately, that didn't resonate either. Um, and just even the way that I looked, like obviously I was miserable. I didn't like the way that I looked. And I'll admit, like I hate using this word because it's so harsh, but I was kind of like I was disgusted. Like I wouldn't even look at myself in the mirror. But that wasn't enough to, propel me and say, hey, like, you got to do something about it. And so it really did come down to choosing to finally do it for me.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, so you can't convince anyone in your home or around you, friends, family, even when you're on this journey, to do what you're doing because they have to come to that conclusion on their own.
Mhm.
And so, given that, like, okay, so you're in that position now. What do? You're in the home. You have takeout coming into the house or pizza nights with the kids, and that's just a part of your tradition or whatever. And maybe your spouse isn't eating what you're eating. Okay, so then eat what you want to eat what you
Mhm.
need to eat, right? Like
You can eat a different meal than your family, or you can customize the takeout to make it work, quote unquote, better for you.
Yeah, and is it going to make it more difficult? Of course. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, having your spouse on board and doing this journey with you is going to make it more manageable. And, just easier to navigate than having to do it on your own. Of course it is. I mean, having those foods in your house, and we talk about setting up your environment for success. So when you have those foods in your house, or you have alcohol in your house, and you're trying to avoid it or not have it, well, then what can you do? So if that's your current reality, then you have to learn to work within that, right?
Hmm.
Those are your parameters. And so for me, like, things like that were in my house. There was takeout, there were other foods, pantry items, whatever. Um, but I figured out some ways, like I have a closed pantry, so I didn't, see it. Same thing with alcohol behind closed doors. And a lot of it was just like I wanted to keep moving forward. And
Hmm.
the first 6 to 8 weeks, I gave it my all. And then I had my sister visit, and then I knew, okay, there's going to be some booze, and there's going to be some more, I don't know, just maybe we're going to be eating out or not, whatever. But
Hmm.
ended up that I still tracked. I did have some booze, and, we ate at home, and I made it work for me. It's difficult. I'll admit
It
it
is.
was
Yeah, we're
difficult
not.
because I had to rely more on my willpower, right? So
Hmm.
if we set up our environment for success, like we talk about, and not having certain foods in the house, or not having things visible on the counter every time you walk by, and you have to like tell yourself each and every time, nope, don't have it, don't have it. Yeah, it is more difficult, but is it impossible? No. And what does that come down to? I know for me, it was just I finally chose to do it for me, so I knew what that was gonna look like and what that was gonna take. And so I tried to control what I could in my environment,
Hmm.
and having closed pantry, like a closed pantry, and things just out of sight, out of mind, worked for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
So let me ask you this, because so this is where I've been met with resistance, because people, again, not understanding my journey, but me able to be able to communicate
Mhm.
like my stance on it, where I know some people might be a little reserved or afraid to speak their stance on it. When you would have like social gatherings at your home because you had
Yeah.
somebody visiting, um, how did you navigate like being able to like, did people basically give you a little bit of like a hard time, like, oh, why aren't you eating this, like why are you eating that, or why aren't you participating in this? Did you get met with
Yeah,
that type
yeah.
of resistance? Because I have.
Initially, yeah, no, I think because I live away from family, I didn't feel it as much.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was further removed from that. But I know if I was living where all my family lives, there would have been a lot more of that, because I experienced it in the past where it was like, oh, on one hand, it's like, okay, you need to lose weight. But on the other hand, it's like, here, eat, eat.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. You're going to be fine.
Hmm. It's
It's
one
like
day, so what?
confusing, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, but like on my journey itself, no. But I also learned, like, for me, initially, I had to say no to going out. I had to say no to having those happy hours that we used to have with my friends,
Hmm.
or meeting my friends for dinner. Instead, I just made it so that it was at home, and I was controlling the environment, so I could make the food myself,
Hmm.
and I knew what I was eating. um, so I kind of learned to navigate it that way until I felt a little bit more confident being in those situations. But I don't feel like I was met with a lot of that, hey, why aren't you eating this? And why don't you do this? Or whatever the case may be. And so that did make it a little bit easier in that sense. So, and off the top of my head, I can't think of instances right now, but I mean, I'm
Hmm.
sure if you have some that you can share, that's going to be very useful
I do.
for our audience. Yeah, okay,
I
let's go
do.
for it.
It's about like, I mean, it's on both ends as far as like for nutrition and towards like my body, like my physical body
Mm,
changes. Because again, cultural standards, right? Like women are
mhm,
just supposed to look petite. So when I first started my journey and people really started to see my body changing, um, you know, I would get met with resistance from family members like, oh, you're getting a little muscular there, huh?
mm,
Or,
yeah.
oh, you should be careful, don't lift that heavy, you're going to hurt yourself, like I'm a
Hmm.
meek wallflower. So that's going to be typical type of resistance that you might get met with from family, friends that again don't understand it, who are stuck in their own cultural standards or their own personal set of standards that they think everybody should be. boxed
Mm-hmm.
in with. And that's where it's just going to take confidence in your own journey to say, I'm good. Thank you. Like, you don't have to argue with them. Don't argue with these people because those are the type of people you can't argue with. Just say, okay, I'm good. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, when you describe it or define it like that, that's another, I guess, definition or angle of resistance that I didn't think about before you explain that. And yeah, I get it. I get it from I got it from my eyebrow lady. She's like, oh,
Of
like
all
you
people, your
brown.
eyebrow lady.
Of course, she's brown. That's how we. That's how we roll. In our culture, and it was like, oh my gosh, you lost so much weight, like how much are you going to keep losing still? And it's just
Mhm.
like, okay. Or you shouldn't be lifting. This is my mom, like obviously she's coming from a great place, right?
Right.
But taking my suitcases up the stairs or down the stairs 50 pounds, she's like, oh, that's so heavy, let your dad do it. I'm like, lady, I lift weights.
You're, you're like, I do this on a Tuesday. We're good.
She's like, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna hurt your back, your dad can do it. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I can unload from the vehicle to the house and take it upstairs, no
Mhm.
problem. And hello, something to be proud of. Like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, bitches, I can do this, I don't need
Yeah,
nobody.
for real.
um right. And but yeah, but it's even when, oh, you're getting so skinny, like that comment, you're getting so skinny, like how much more are you going to lose? And it's never enough, right?
Yeah.
So there's that part of it, and you're right. And the way that I just respond, it's like, yeah, cool, I'm good, we'll
Because it's
see.
not even
That's
worth
it.
it, the explanation at
Yeah,
this point
it's
because they
not worth.
just don't get it. It's clear
Yeah.
that they just don't get it. But also, too, we've said this before, your journey is not for anybody else to understand or to get. It's for
Mm-hmm.
you. So you
Mm-hmm.
dictate like how far you want to take it. And
Yeah.
that's
and
it.
and then learning to, like, Carmi and I always talk about emotional regulation, and a lot of us learning that and going through that within our journeys also comes down to how we react and respond to others, not just with our kids, not just with ourselves. And so our responses, like Carmi said and I stated, they're very 1 2 word answers. Yeah, no, I don't know, cool. Just that's it,
No,
and that's
I'm
where
good.
we leave it. Yeah, we
Or
don't
thank
get.
you, got it.
Yeah, just don't get defensive about it. Just like I was talking about when I went back and people were commenting on my face within the community. It's like, yeah, it's just like that. But that also comes from, like, we're just confident too. Like, I feel like
Mhm.
I'm the confidence that comes from within, from practicing, from putting in the reps, from
Mhm.
trusting the process and doing all that. It's just like, I just don't give a shit no more.
Yeah.
I just don't, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. And
And I think
so,
the hard part though is the people who still lack the confidence because they're still
yeah,
starting. And it's like, I think you made a really good point is that, you kind of just separated yourself from situations and said no to situations until you were able
yeah,
to get that foundation. And that's okay too.
yeah, exactly. Right. And I mean, it's not disordered. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you have to, so for me, I had to remove myself just so that I gave myself enough time to
Mhm.
be able to be in that environment. And it's like, it's not like you're not living life. It's just a temporary measure, until you can take that step forward in that direction. And it's just like tracking on my birthday or during Christmas. Like, I read a post, some coaches said, oh yeah, you better, that's a red flag for your coach if you have a coach that says, track on Christmas and track on your birthdays. Well, no, context matters.
Yeah,
Like,
because what if that's a person who's in bikini prep? What if that's a person who has very meticulous goals in that moment? Like, you don't know what's going on. What if that person is in a
yeah.
fat loss phase because they're getting ready for a wedding and they need that data? You don't know
or
that. You
some
can't
or
blanket
some
statement that.
You can't. Or someone like me, where, I'd overindulged for years. So what if I track on my birthday one year because I'm
Yeah.
trying, like, to achieve a certain goal? Who cares? Like, stay in your own lane, do
Yeah.
what works for you. You get to define what that looks like within the parameters of your life. And I think that's just such an important, just, concept, like, to all of this. And if we can live within that, then I feel like you can just move through this entire process
Mm-hmm.
in a way that's not there's not so much pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like, or the noise or any
Mm-hmm.
of that. So yeah, I mean,
But there's going to be a lot of people too, and you're going to know, like within your circle of people, like who are going to be the ones who don't respect your boundaries or are used to you pushing your boundaries, or
right.
you know what I'm saying, where you're like, no, I'm not drinking tonight, and they're like, yeah, come on, go go go, and they know you give into the social pressure because it's what you've done in the
Right.
past. So with that being said, like if you know that's that group of people who they're not doing it maliciously, it's just that's the pattern that they're used to with you, then
Hmm.
again it's probably better for you to kind of separate yourself for a little while until you have the confidence to set the boundaries, because I do know that there's also situations where people, their norm is to go out, socialize, and drink heavily.
Hmm.
But now maybe that doesn't align with where you're at right now. So either
Right.
you have two choices. Actually, you have three choices. Separate yourself until you have that foundation, until you feel comfortable setting a boundary. Two, go. Pretend like you're drinking. Drink
Yeah, you could do that
have a glass
initially,
full of water that looks like vodka and chug a
for
lug a
sure.
lug.
Yeah.
And be comfortable with that. Be okay with that. Or three, be so confident in yourself and your journey to say, no, I'm good. I'm not participating. I'm here. I'm here to support. I'm here physically, but I'm not going to participate in all the antics that you guys are doing. And I'm okay with it. And you should be too. So those are really your options, but it's really up to you to decide like what is going to suit you right now.
Yeah, and the third option might just take some time for you to
Mhm.
arrive there, right? To
Yeah.
that point where you can just say no and still be in that environment without feeling pressure to have that drink or have certain food.
Mhm.
Yeah, gosh, this is escaping me now what I wanted to touch
Oh,
on next point.
sorry. Sorry. I think I
Oh,
cut
okay.
you
No, no,
off.
no. There we go. No, no, this is, but again, now I think we're kind of going into the whole support,
Mhm.
accountability community.
Mhm.
And so if, again, you find that that's not there at home, then there's support outside. Like, I know for me, for 2 decades, I tried to do it alone, whether it was out of fear, shame, not wanting to communicate, all of these things. And it wasn't until, and I thought I could. And what I realized is no, like nobody can do it alone. We need that support. We need that community. And you can find that in different areas of your life, whether it's your coach, personal trainer, certain friends, family members, whomever it is, you need to figure that out for yourself. But that just plays such a major role
Mhm.
in the entire process,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So if,
Because that's what my
again,
husband was
yeah,
lacking that he wanted from me, but I couldn't provide for him. But yet he
no,
didn't outsource to find a
right,
community.
right, and so when you say like I regret it, but what's there to regret? You just weren't there. That's
Well, I
where you
guess
were in life, right?
as a wife, I couldn't show up in the way that he needed me to show up. But then again, on the flip side of it, I couldn't show up for me. I couldn't show
Exactly.
up for myself in the way I needed to. So how can I show up for anybody if I can't even show up for myself?
Yeah, and was it that you weren't showing up? Like maybe it wasn't the way that he had in his mind, but I'm
Mhm.
sure you were still, it's not like you were, eating junk or bringing, like throwing it in his face. And I don't know, maybe you were, maybe he didn't need that. But yeah, at some point though, we do have to, you can't rely on someone else for your decisions, right? The
Yeah.
choices that you make.
Hmm.
You still have to do that on your own. Like, again, does it make it harder? Yes,
Yes.
but it
But
does,
you can
right?
find your people. That's the beauty of social media now is you can find your
Yeah.
people. But you also have to be very careful on the people you find. You have don't go in the mommy groups. The mommy groups are going to be like the ones that like full tell get you all the way sent.
Oh gosh, I have not. I can't even. It's
I
like
stay
me
out of them.
and
I stay out of them because they get me like I'm like be
yeah, it's
quiet.
like me in real life too. Like
Yeah.
I just can't do the mommy clip
I have to
speaking or whatever.
I got to be listening to Jesus real hard on when like those mommy group posts come up. I'm like, be quiet, bite your tongue,
No.
be quiet, because again, those are people that they're not ready to hear it. They're not ready to hear
Yeah.
it.
And
Because again,
sometimes
you
less
can't
is
lead them
more.
to you. That part.
Yeah.
Like
No,
just lead by
seriously.
example and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, and less is more. Like you don't need to have, I don't know, like 50 people in your corner, even when you're starting out. Just having like a select few is more than enough, right? At least
Hmm.
that's what I found. And as for me, my experience as I progressed throughout this journey, like I can't tell you, again, lot of my experience, like even to this day, feels really surreal. But the friends that I've met along the way, the community, the support, and people that would never have come into my circle or my world
Hmm.
ever, had I, not just done made that choice initially to start. And it's crazy, and they're all a source of support for me in one way or the other, right? Like
Yeah.
it just, and it continues, and it changes too,
Yep.
right? What that
Yeah.
support looks like or what that circle looks like changes. And so yeah, I don't know what other kind of things that we can touch on as far as within your own home. What do you think? Like, is there anything else that
There's not
are
too
on your
much within
mind?
my own home anymore because again, like everything's like aligned in our home now. You know,
Yeah.
we're both very focused on our mental health, our physical health, our nutrition. We mirror each other. So everything is pretty smooth here. Like, I really can't complain. It is, though, we do both get met with resistance at work when it comes to
That's
like,
interesting.
yeah, like potlucks or
Yeah,
eating
that's a
and
good
stuff
point.
like that. So I'll give you a perfect example. One day, they were doing like a barbecue, like where they were barbecuing like hamburgers and hot dogs for lunch. And I, like clockwork, always bring all of my meals with me to work because everything's already
Mhm.
pre-tracked, pre-logged. Will I sometimes divert? Yeah, if it's worth it to me. And worth it meaning like, do I really want to? Is there a scarcity issue around that particular food? No. Okay,
Mm,
then we're good. But again, that's me putting in the reps to be able to have that mindset.
right.
But it was close to lunch and I popped my head out to go maybe to the restroom. They're like, "Oh, Carmi, are you going to eat?" And I said, "No, no, thank you. That's it." And they're like, "Oh, come on. You can have the
Mhm.
hamburgers, you just don't eat the bun." And I said, "Listen." I said, "You clearly don't get it." I said, "It's not about the bun. I eat a hamburger with a bun all the time." I said, "I already have plans this weekend to eat out with my family, and we're going to eat a hamburger, and I'm going to eat a hamburger that I want to
Mm,
splurge my calories on." I said, "You may not understand that because it's just free food." So I got a little snarky. I said, I don't need the free food. I brought my meal with me. It's not about the bun."
hmm,
And she was like, "Ugh." But to me, because that was like a snarky comment to make, like, "Oh, you can eat it, you could just not have the bun." You clearly don't
mhm,
understand. You ask me things all the time, you ask me for advice, but you clearly don't get it. You don't get it, and that's okay. It's not for you to get, but it's also not your place to tell me how to navigate my journey because you don't know what's going on. Do you even know if I'm in a maintenance phase? Do you even know if I'm in a caloric
mm,
deficit? Because if I'm in a caloric deficit phase, like, for sure I'm saying no. So there should not be pressure put on anybody to be any type of way or to do it based on your standards. Oh, there's free food, I should go eat. No,
yeah.
because first of all, you probably got the 80-20 beef or the 70-30 beef. That's more fat than it is protein. That's going to be like this big.
Oh, man. And it ain't the bun. It ain't the
It's not
bun.
even the bun. It's actually probably more the fat content in the beef, to be honest with you. But again, that just shows your lack of education and knowledge around it. But then again, you are also the type of person that, you'll ask me for advice. I give you advice. I wrote you a whole strength
Mm,
training plan, but still you want to go do it your way. So cool, do it your way. And I'm going to do it my way. And respectfully, like, let's just have respect about it. And that's it.
yeah, yeah, that work, yeah, actually the work environment is another big thing. And
Hmm.
and sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's just projection, right? Like
Yeah.
that's one thing both you and I have realized is that that's a you problem. So
Hmm.
you do you, boo. And we'll do what we need to do.
Hmm.
But so it's, their insecurities or them wanting to do it and having someone do it with them so they don't feel bad doing it, whatever. who knows what the reasons are, but projection is one of those for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is, yeah, workplace environments just, they
It's
foster that
yeah.
kind of like, let's go do this together, let's hey, let's go eat. And someone may not know what you're doing, they may not even know that you're in a fat loss phase, or
Mm-hmm.
you're just trying to live a healthier life. And you don't need to explain it, you really
No.
don't. Like, I remember actually had a client, she was saying like, oh, they're ordering pizza, they always, there's this happening, a potluck, or they'll ask me, hey, we're going out for lunch, are you coming? And it was difficult for her at first, but eventually she got into like, practicing different responses, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, actually I have my lunch, I'm good, and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And there might be that pressure, like, no, come on, let's go, who cares, you can eat that tomorrow. And sometimes, like, I know with my client, she's like, well, no, then I decide, okay, do I want this, and do I save, like, and then maybe she'll save her lunch and have that for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But there's intention, right? And so instead of reacting just based on that pressure, or just constantly being in that loop where it's happening every day, because that's what you're used to in that
Yeah.
work environment,
Mm-hmm.
it's thinking about what it is, like you said, like, is this something that I don't eat all the time, or I don't have access to, and I'm going to? Or is it just your plain old, I don't know, like potato salad from the grocery store, you, right?
Yeah. Well, I've seen people, like, people will bring in day old Dunkin' donuts, which, fight me on
Oh,
this, but Dunkin' Donuts is trash anyways, like their
yeah,
donuts at least. Take me to an old fashioned donut shop all day, like a hole in a wall. That's
yeah,
where I'm happy. But like, I will watch people down a day old stale donut, and I'm like, why? Because it's
right,
there. Like, people don't understand that, especially for whatever reason in a medical facility, it is not set up
right.
for like nutritional success whatsoever. Like, the things
It's
that
the
people bring
opposite.
in, it's the opposite, and it's
Yeah,
crazy. And I'm just like, now I have a mindset where again, this is practice, right? For me, where I
right,
can look at even the fresh box of Krispy Kreme donuts and say, no, I'm good. I don't need that right
right,
now. Now,
right.
some days am I like, yeah, let's go? Yes. But again, I get to decide, but I also understand, like, I have a system built for myself that, like, I can navigate this fine. But the things that people put in break rooms in a health facility is crazy. It's crazy. And the things that they do is even more crazier to me, because
Hmm.
these the same people that are throwing shade at me for saying no thank you, I'm good, but still wanting to poke the bear. And I'm like, you don't want to
Right.
keep poking the bear. And because
No,
because my
no.
complete sentence of no thank you, I'm good is not going to be a complete sentence. I'm
No,
gonna
thank you, I'm good.
I'm gonna make you feel a type of way about you.
Right.
Because I'm like,
Right.
but these are the same people that did a 4 week weight loss challenge, right? Where they barely ate, or they ate salads, but no protein, and a
Yeah.
bunch of just dressing that's like a fat bomb, and then celebrated with donuts after,
Mm,
because they
yeah.
restricted donuts
So,
the whole time.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so this leads me to my point of, when you feel like people are poking at you or giving you that resistance, look at the big picture, zoom out, and consider the source. Are these people that are actually living this type of lifestyle that you desire or wish to live? Or are these the
Hmm.
same people that are just trying to hold you down? Like, they're trying to keep you down. They're like, no, 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 no,
Right.
no, no, no. Misery likes company. Stay with us, boo.
Yeah, or it just, or it just might be completely unintentional. There's nothing behind it except, just being a part of the team, and not even, taking that second to say, oh my God, maybe, what I'm asking this person to do might, like, how, like, I'm not actually helping them. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are aware enough to see how their actions and their words are affecting someone else
Mm-hmm.
either. And so again, and it comes back to you, it comes back to us, and it's our responsibility to say, okay, like, and again, like, step back and say, okay, why do I need this? Ask yourself those questions, and just come at it with intention. And
Mm-hmm.
also, maybe you're the person just to say, no, I'm good. And maybe you have to say it 3 times, but that's exactly how you say it. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay too. At some point, they're going to back off.
Yeah. because
right?
nobody
Like,
really gives me any shit anymore. They're just like, oh, like they don't question whether I participate. Like if you sign me up, so they sign us up for potlucks, and it's so
right.
annoying to me because I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
you want it to be a community thing, but I'm that's that's not calories I want to waste my calories on. Like
right,
take me to Five Guys. I don't want your nachos.
right, right.
Just
Exactly,
saying.
right?
Like, okay, I get it, but so like they'll sign us up for like what we have to bring per department, and so I'll just drop it off, and they're like, okay, see you later. I'm like, I just say, okay, yeah, bye, but I don't. I don't ever
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I remember having like when I was working, I remember actually having really good potlucks because we would bring in like homemade butter chicken and like, just
Yeah, that's not
meals
going
like
down over here.
yeah, no, we're talking. Yeah, and so there you go. That's another thing. Like, is this something that you're having just from the stupid grocery store that's
Yeah.
garbage? Like I said, potato salad or I don't know. I mean, whatever. You have to decide for yourself. That's
Hmm.
it. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you have to decide for yourself. You are going to be met with resistance throughout your journey and probably for the rest of your life, right? You're going to be in
Yeah.
situations, you're going to be in environments where you're gonna have to ask yourself, do I want this or do I not? And you're gonna be in situations where you're gonna be pressured for sure. It's just gonna happen. That's the way it is. And it's just up to you to kind of
Hmm.
figure out where you're at and what you want to do, right?
Yeah. I think the main tools are going to be a communication, especially if it's the resistance that you're being met inside your
Yeah.
own home. And
With
also
whom?
too,
Yeah.
yeah, it's also too like having a
Mhm.
little bit of understanding. Like, okay, this is not where they want to be, but this is where I want to be. And then you have to try to
Right.
navigate that because again, you can't force people because I was almost, well, I don't want to say like my husband was forcing me, but like that's like what I felt like in that moment. And I didn't want to be
Right.
because
Right.
I'm an asshole. I'm like, don't force me to do shit I don't want to do because now I'm going to rebel because that's just my nature. That's my that's my toxic
Right.
trait. Don't tell me to do
Right.
something because I'm gonna be like, bet no.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
just me. But it's like, you can't again, you can't force people because again, I was in that position where like he wanted me to participate. I didn't want to. And that's just what it was. But it really took what it really needed to happen is communication. But then again, I also wasn't ready to communicate. So
Yeah.
you need to have that communication, but then understand that you're probably still going to get met with resistance and be okay with it. I think that's going to
Yeah.
be like your main things, like especially if it's inside your own four walls. And then you like how Dal navigated doing it like the booze and the food, the processed food, just almost like out of sight, out of mind, because you know it's going to be there. Especially if you have little kids, it's going to be there. They're going to ask for the goldfish. I mean,
Yeah.
by
There's
all
gonna be
means,
some
like
of it.
don't deprive your kids of a childhood favorite of goldfish just because you don't have self control around it. You're going to have to take the steps to work towards having some kind of self control around it. And also, if it helps, out of sight, out of mind, put it behind a closed door. Like you're just going to have to learn. It's going to take practice. It's going to take you trying to be strategic around certain things and then learn how to build that confidence and set those boundaries.
Yeah.
It sounds easy. It's not. We're not trying to sit here and like take away the fact that it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to take time and you just have to be graceful with yourself and be gracious and understand like
Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit of work.
And the goal is not to eliminate or restrict that or not have it in your house at all. It's to, like you said, to feel confident around it,
Be
right?
harmonious with it. Be one with
Yeah.
it.
And you will, because like just taking that stuff outside of your like out of sight, out of mind also, that was just temporary for me. And that might
Hmm.
not work for everyone, right? Just
Hmm.
let's be clear. Um eventually, obviously now there's some things that I don't want. Like I'll keep coming to those stupid Reese's
Hmm.
Halloween chocolates. Anyways, so I just don't bring those in anymore.
Yeah. Or maybe instead
Right?
of the family size bags of stuff, just bring like I mean I know it's not cost efficient, I get it, but maybe just bring like the one small snack size bag of
Right.
the thing into your home. If you know that you're still trying to build a boundary around that situation or that food, like there's ways to get around it. Like I said, you just have to be like kind of crafty about it and think about like how can I still have this in my house but not have it be such a deterrent in my house.
Yeah, and just learning to manage what you can, again, going back to within
Hmm.
what's within your control and learning how you can work through that for yourself. Yeah, but at the end of the day, find the support where you can.
Yeah.
That's it. find
And be
support.
okay with making different meals for people. I know you're not a
Yeah.
short order cook, but we've touched on this before in a previous episode. I think it was like the nutritional tips episode where
Yeah.
like if you yourself already have your food prepped in your fridge, all you have to do is grab it out and rewarm it. So if the kids want chicken nugs, air fry the chicken nugs. If your husband wants something different, make him chicken nugs also.
Yeah, I've had many pizza nights where I didn't have pizza and I just had whatever I had made
Hmm.
for myself, right?
Yeah.
Mostly my fat loss phases. Sometimes in maintenance, I'll forego it, but not now. Like I like to spend that
Hmm.
pizza night with my kids and have it with them. Is it filling? No, ugh, sucks, but whatever.
I know you. I do. Listen, my relationship with pizza too. Like, I will. I think I've showed on my stories. Like, I will throw down on a pizza
Hmm.
and like not even
Hmm.
think twice about it. Like me and pizza, we got some kind of love affair that's just toxic. Especially a deep dish pizza. Dang, I am
Oh
like,
man.
I am a whore for deep dish pizza. Okay. But like I guess the good thing is my husband doesn't really care for pizza, or at least deep dish pizza. Like he'll do like a Pyology or a Blaze pizza, like the thin crust. But
Hmm.
anything else other than that like will give him tummy issues. So we don't have it very often, but man, when we have it, I'm like
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good.
something about just the like it's crispy and soft and just the sauce, like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, oh gosh. Okay, let's move
Now
away
I
from
want
that because now
pizza.
I want pizza.
Let's stop talking about pizza. Hey, some pizza companies sponsor us, dang it.
Oh, so yes. Okay, so your situation may look like mine or Carmi's or the next person, and yes, your spouse may not support you. Hopefully, you don't have one that's intentionally trying to sabotage you.
There are
Like
some,
that.
unfortunately.
They are, and I don't even know what to say about that.
Find
That's
find
like
find
a
a support
deeper
group.
issue. Yeah, really, at the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to: is
Hmm.
support
Yeah.
community, and really working within the parameters of your life. When it comes to how you can work through the resistance, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, okay. So, with that, we're gonna end it here. Hope that helped. If it did, share this episode, peeps.
Like and
That's
subscribe it
it.
too, and share
Right,
with all
that
your
too.
friends. We're getting wonderful feedback, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I know, right? Me too. Like that really made my day, that comment, that message that you got. So
Yes.
we're going to keep showing up because we love this. And even if it just helps one person, we're in it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. So with
Bye.
that, bye.